Is there an energetic mismatch in the black community? Again, an energetic mismatch. Somebody pointed out, I was reading through the comments, and somebody pointed out that she said she was done with the black community because it's a lot of victim mindset. And the light bulb went off. It was like, ding. I was like, that's a lot of what it is. It's the victim mindset, victim mentality that plagues a lot of the black community. And we're not talking about just situational, victim mentality like, you know, domestic or family, whatever the case. No, 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 no. This is like overall victim mentality about how we go about moving as a community. And I said, that really does fit the description. And I feel like there's an energetic mismatch between people who have that victim mentality as a community, looks at the black community as a victim, and some that want to look at it as being a victor, a conqueror. Again, it seems like it's split between those who want to play the victim role and those who want to be the conqueror. Well, you know what? I'll add one to it. It's those that want to play the victim role, those that are neutral, that either are not aware, don't care, or comfortable. And then you have those that want to strive for excellence, strive to be the best that they can be. And because you have these three different energies going, there's no alignment between, each one has its own different game plan. You have the ones who have the victim mentality, the victim mindset. These are the ones that want reparations before we make any move. These are the ones that want the apologies. These are the ones that always say, it's the white man holding us down. Even if it is the truth or isn't the truth. This is the talking points that they always say. These are the talking points that they always use for why we can't move forward or why we've been held back. It's always something of why we can't move forward. And then you have the ones in the middle who are just comfortable with life or don't care about moving the ball forward or what we have going on. And then you have the ones who want to move the ball forward, want to build, want to strive for excellence, want to contribute to the world, the ones who want to be looked at in a positive light. And there's just an energetic mismatch between the three. And the talking points that you have for one is not going to fit the other two, and so on and so forth. So because you look at it in this lens now, like I said, the talking points that you have, it's all an energetic mismatch. You can't speak from one perspective to the other two and the other two to the one. It doesn't work. And this is why I believe separation is important. What is the old saying? You have to separate to elevate. Elevation requires separation. And at this point, I really do believe that there is a call for a separation because there's an energetic mismatch. The talking points that you have for black people to strive for excellence and to be the best self and to contribute to the world, it doesn't fit the viewpoints and the mindset of those that are still in the victim mentality. They can't tap into that frequency. They can't tap into that energy. It's two different energetic levels. You can't tap into it. It's like trying to find positive, but you have a negative mindset. Until you change your mindset, you're not going to be able to see how we're moving. Again, the people who have the victim mindset, until you change your mindset, you're not going to see how the people who striving for excellence is moving. You're not going to see how we talking about life. You're not going to see how the talking points that y'all have is detrimental to the community. You're not going to see how the people who's just neutral, how they live their lives is going to be detrimental to them. You're not seeing it. You're not going to see how it's detrimental not to have no community, not to have any infrastructure, not to be building. You're going to see how negative it is. And because the ones that want to build, because the ones who don't have that negative mentality, because we don't have that victim mentality, because we're not looking for a handout, because we want to build, we want to have community, we want to have positive and happy families, we want to heal, we want to grow, we don't align. We're willing to do the work. Some aren't. We're not looking for a handout. Some are. We're not looking for apology. Some are. And this is already causing a rift because you have some that align and some don't. So what's the point of sticking together when one wants to go left and one wants to go right? What's the point? What's the point of sticking together as a whole community when we do not agree? And that's why I believe it's time for a separation. It's already happening. Why not? Why not? What would be the loss? People who couldn't see the vision? People who didn't want to grow? It sounds harsh. It sounds mean. Yeah, it does. But it's always been said that only a remnant will make it. It's always been said only a remnant will make it. And the remnant, I believe, that will make it is the one that will get up off their ass and do the work. Again, the remnant that will make it is the ones who will get off their ass and do the work. It's like you see a storm coming, yet you're still asking for somebody to give you an umbrella. You see a storm is coming in 4 days, and yet you still outside having your hand out asking for a damn umbrella. Asking for materials and tools to go build you some shelter. Instead of going out in that forest, chopping you down a tree, and building your own damn shelter. And now when the rain comes, you get rained on and poured on because you had your hand out asking for some shelter when you could have took that same energy and went to go build you one. Yet you felt like somebody owed you some shelter because you did some work for them a long time ago and they never paid you. Granted, they should have paid you, but they didn't. So you let that hold you back from making your own shelter, providing for yourself, and just charging it to the game. See, that's why I always say that folks in the black community who's always looking for reparations, black folks in the community who have the victim mindset, they're the ones who's going to get rained on and poured on. They are the ones who's going to get rained on and poured on. How can you wait? See, I've always believed that those don't really believe in God, don't really believe in, a higher power. Because how many times, if you really believe in God, you really believe in the higher power, how many times have you been screwed over and charged it to the game and kept it moving, and God then gave it back to you, sometimes even tenfold? Somebody could have screwed you over, and you let it go, you charged it to the game, and God done delivered it back to you tenfold. How many times has that happened as a spiritual person? We know it happens. And that's what's going to happen with the black community. The ones who go their own separate way, the ones who's not having their hand up in the reparations, the ones who's not crying, the ones who's not playing that victim mindset, the ones who just charge it to the damn game, keep it pushing, and build for themselves, God will deliver. God will deliver because he's seeing that we weren't waiting on nobody. We got up off our ass and did what the fuck we had to do and charged it to the game and let him deal with it. Yet, we have other half who's still sitting, crying with the hand out, waiting for somebody to give them something that's quote unquote owed and not building and not moving forward. Y'all don't have the belief. Y'all don't have the again, belief. Let's just leave it at belief. You don't have the belief that God will make it right, that God will square you, that God would deliver everything that was lost. But as long as you sit down still crying about somebody who owes you and how they haven't paid you and you don't do nothing to move forward, what you gonna do? Like I always say, it's like a business. If somebody owes you money from a business, you just gonna stop working? You just gonna stop production because one person owes you? You gonna charge it to the game. You're gonna keep it pushing, you're gonna keep building. That's a part of life. You don't know how this plays into our story. You don't know how it does. Maybe God needs for us to start building and start doing and start moving and grooving before he delivers anything to us. It's just like if you have a kid, you're not going to give them everything if they haven't done nothing. And I know everybody's going to say, well, we did something. I know that. I get that. But you're not understanding. These folks ain't going to give you nothing, especially if you ain't worked. We keep looking for payment from the person who victimized us instead of instead of just waiting for God to deliver it while we work. It's like you working on land, planting seeds and planting vegetables and all this, right? And it ain't rained. You can't sit there and they did the work planting the seeds and asking for rain and say, oh, when it rains, then I go out there and plant the seeds. No. You go out there and plant the seeds, then you know it's going to rain. We got to plant the seeds now and know that it's going to rain. We got to do the work now and know that God is going to provide. We can't wait for the rain to go outside and start planting the seeds. We can't wait for quote unquote reparations to come and then we start building. We got to start building now and know that the money will come. Know that the infrastructure will come. Know that God will provide. And this is where I believe the rift is between, like I said, the ones who want to do better, the ones who want to strive for excellence, versus the ones who's just comfortable where they at, versus the ones who are waiting, who have the victim mindset, the victim mentality. There's just the energetic mismatch between the three. And eventually it'll all sort out. And I believe a separation will happen. It has to be. There has to be a separation. It's like sometimes if you have an ailment going on, sometimes they have to amputate, a limb, finger, in order to save the body. And at this point, this is how I see it. There has to be an amputation in order for preservation. Could be harsh, could sound harsh, but like they always said, only a remnant will make it. Again, only a remnant will make it. And I'm pretty sure we know which remnant that will be. Anyways, let me know how y'all feel about this. This your favorite cousin Rich. I appreciate y'all for listening. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.